From London, we present The Outrage, a play for radio by Joyce Merrick.
That all, love? Bitter day.
Aye, there's a wicked wind. All is nice and cosy in your shop, though, Mrs. Wilshaw. Oh, I'll take a packet of mixed biscuits, love, same as that last time.
Which were they?
Were a blue packet. I've forgotten the name.
Oh, it'll be these. Very nice they are.
They are that. Our Stanley fairly wolfed a lot of them Sunday. That'll be all now, Tar, love. Hey, has he been in?
Not since. 2 and 4.
Ashamed to show his face, more than likely.
I shouldn't wonder. 5 and 7.8.
I call it plain disgusting.
7 and 4. Have you seen it?
Not myself, I haven't. But Charlie Weston told our Stanley. He says he's seen out like it since Worsley Barracks.
Fancy. 8 and 3.8. On War Memorial too. 9 and 7 in your biscuits. 10 and 11, that is. Some folks haven't a scrap of sense.
Oh, and a tin of the apricots, please, Mrs. Wilshaw. There's 2 fellas scraping away under a tarpaulin now with Charlie Weston on guard.
12 and 8pence. Must be bad if they had to cover it over.
Well, you've got to think of kiddies, haven't you? And me to say, when all's said and done, it's not decent. Filthy drawings, Charlie Weston said. Downright phonographic. And language.
You'd wonder where he'd picked it up, wouldn't you? Him a foreigner and all.
They know it all, never you fret. That Lily Taylor goes in of a Tuesday to do round. She says he's got some pictures there, hanging on walls bold as you please. He found her gaping at one t'other week. Lily says she went as red as a beetroot, didn't know where to look.
What did he say?
Asked her if she liked primitive painting. Primitive? Oh, I should say so.
Well, he's an artist. You've got to make allowances. They don't see it that way.
Calls himself an artist? Anybody could call themselves an artist. I could, you could. Lily Taylor says he's been chopping away at a lump of wood as big as himself for weeks together. What you making, she says. It's a bit cheeky, that Lily Taylor, gets above herself. A torso, he says. Oh, I had one of them when I were married, she says.
What did he say to that?
He looked at her sideways on. They're a funny lot, foreigners. You can't tell what they're thinking. Hey, what's the sardines?
1 and 7.
Well, give us a tin. It'll make a change. Tea time. I can't think what to give them next.
It's true, you can't.
It's upset our Stanley. He wanted to go and knock his block off, but I told him to keep his nose out of trouble. He says it's an insult to our lads. It has upset him.
It's upset everybody. That all, love?
I reckon it is. I can't think of aught else.
Ta.
Ta?
But it's been out but pound notes this morning.
Oh.
I mustn't complain.
Hey, there's been a lot of bad feeling.
I've been hearing some. Here's Harry. Got 'em all out, have you?
All out, there's a lot. Oh, it's cold. Wind's bitter.
Aye.
I've come through square. They've covered it over.
Mrs. Berry's been saying.
I had a word with Charlie. It were a funny colour red. Copper glow or copper rose, I forget which. They only had a couple of tins at Brooks's. One's still there.
Oh, where's t'other?
Been sold. No bought it.
Who?
Who'd you think? He bought it.
Eh.
Last Monday week. Him up there, rotten communist.
Well, I thought he were here to get away from them.
We don't know why he's here. He might have been chucked out for some reason or t'other. We get him all here. Open house to riff-raff this country.
A bit of red paint and snout to go by. Perhaps he wanted a paint shed. You don't know.
Get out. Bright red. Anyone in their right mind paints a shed green or brown.
You can't have nice and a green.
I bought it last Monday week from Brooks's.
Well, there you are. You can't have it plainer than that.
I didn't need to have it no plainer. I knew it, but him stands to reason, blinking fascist.
Oh, make up your mind.
I've only seen him about, like. I've not spoken to him.
He doesn't talk over much. He's quiet like.
It's always the quiet ones.
Well, that lets you out then.
Sacrilege. That's what I
That's
call
what
it.
we all call it, and he'll not get away with.
You wait while I tell Lily Taylor. She'll not go in again. Jack'll not let her. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra! She chunnels away, that Mrs. Berry. Oh, and here's our Leslie and potatoes not started.
Cold enough for you, our Leslie?
Hello.
What's up with you then?
Nothing.
Oh, he's hungry. Come on, lad. Just look at you. What do you think you look like? I don't know.
What's wrong with me?
Hey, I wonder many a time. Look at the daft way you've done your hair. Makes your head look like it comes to a point in the middle.
Oh, let it alone.
When you were a little lad, I used to brush it sideways with a nice straight parting. Looked lovely.
Sideways with a straight parting. Make me look a proper square.
Better a square than a triangle. That blessed black jacket and black trousers.
They're jeans.
Well, best give 'em back to her. They don't suit you.
Hey, oh, Mum, you're that corny.
Don't be so cheeky. There. That's potatoes on. Will not be long now. Keep an eye on shop.
Me dad's there.
He'll not be there long. It's past opening time.
Come in.
Mr. Kostka,
Yes? I'm from the station, Sergeant Bates.
Did you want to see me?
I should like a few words with you. Had I better come in?
Please do.
You get on with what you were doing. Take no notice of me. I'll just have a look round.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Well, since you ask me, I'm looking for a tin of paint purchased from Mr. Brooks's hardware last Monday week.
I bought some paint recently.
So I've been told. Have you still got it?
I should have. I put it in the shed outside.
I'll take a look outside if you've no objections.
Would it make any difference if I had?
No, not really, but a bit of politeness don't cost anything. Is this the way to the back? I'm not like some, you know. I don't lose my manners when I put on my uniform. Ooh. You want to get shut of that over back? That'll not take you far.
The bin men won't move it.
You want to give them a couple of bob. Take anything anywhere, you'll be surprised.
Thank you, I'll remember that. I didn't know public servants were open to bribe in this country.
That's not a bribe, it's no more than a drop of oil. Gets the wheels moving, as you might say. What this door could do with...
Do you ever get your hand smeared with oil?
No, never. Trying to bribe an officer of the law is an offence, so I don't advise you to try it.
I wasn't thinking of it. I was just curious.
There's no paint here. Can you see any?
Lend me your torch. No, it's not here. I put it in the corner, wrapped up just as it was. That's odd.
Very odd. Did you lock the shed?
How can I lock it? The door's almost off its hinges. The whole place is very neglected.
Well, we're not much further, are we? Where do you think it got to?
How should I know? Someone must have taken it.
I wonder who'd want it. It was a funny colour. My constable said it reminded him of dried blood.
I liked it. I'd call it terracotta.
What did you buy it for?
To paint some of the woodwork, the window frames and door and so on. It's worn down to the bare wood in parts.
It's not usual for the tenant to be responsible for the outside paint work.
Usual or not, I wanted to repaint it. I hope to be here for some time.
Yes, I hope you will be, Mr. Kostka. Did you consult your landlord before buying the paint?
Mr. Spencer doesn't care what I do. He was glad to get out of the cottage and glad to get rent for it.
I see. Can you tell me how you spent yesterday evening?
I was in Doroport. I teach there twice a week. The evening class finishes at 9. I had the meal and caught the 10:30 bus to Denbury and walked home from there.
But it's over 4 miles from Denbury.
I don't mind walking.
So, from about 5 till 11, you were walking? In the dark?
There was a moon last night. It was very clear.
What time was it when you crossed the square?
Almost midnight, I should think.
Did you see anybody in the square?
Nobody.
Somebody saw you.
Who?
You were seen looking up at the memorial.
Is that an offense? I often look at it, especially at night when everywhere is quiet.
And what do you think about?
About the stupidity and waste of war. What else can one think?
So you're a pacifist?
If you like.
Those men died in defense of their country. It was not everybody who'd call their sacrifice a waste.
I'm afraid that I would, if you remember that in a very short time you become firm allies with what were your mortal enemies. It's so stupid.
So you saw fit to smear obscenities on a memorial to fallen soldiers?
I deny that. For one thing, as a sculptor, I have too much respect for another man's work.
You take my advice, you'll come clean now. Tell me the truth. It'll be better for you in the long run. You'll get a fair hearing. There may be extenuating circumstances.
I've nothing more to say.
Right. Well, if that's your attitude, we'll leave it at that. But you'll be seeing me again.
You know where to find me.
You look washed out. I've told you time and again to stop at school dinner.
You can keep school dinner. I get enough of school without eating there and all.
It's too much for lad Harry, dashing back on his bike all that way. He looks fit to drop. Leslie, go and wash your hands.
Oh.
What's that on your shirt, red paint?
He's been painting war memorial.
Is that supposed to be funny?
It'll wash out. Only poster paint. Mr. Henshaw's on one of his daft projects.
Give me a turn. I've got red paint on the brain. Where are you off to, Harry? As if I need ass.
I'll not be long.
I'm supposed to keep his dinner hot for him. I've had enough to do without that. Use soap, Leslie. That's what it's there for. I won't be a minute. Now then, old friend, what are you after? Come on, tell me what you want.
Oh, aye, I'll tell you what I want's right enough. I know what I want's right enough. It's not what you want, is it? It's what you can have.
Give it here. Let's see how much you've got.
It's all right. I've got my money. You know me, Edna.
And less of the Edna.
You know me.
I know you only too well, Fred Millington. What have you brought? Let's have a look.
Get my pension Friday.
Give it here. I haven't got all day. You can have that back for a start.
Oh.
You've been trying to palm this French one off on me for the last 20 years.
Right.
10pence. Not even price of a loaf. Let's see what we can find. We'll not let you starve. You can have a large slice. Now, that's worth 1 penny for a start. Let's give you a bit of tea and sugar. I don't know. Beats me what you do with old money. Wine and women, that's what it is. Wine and women. You'll have to cut out one at t'other. A fast life. You can see it's doing you no good. Here's a bit of Marge. How's that, then? If you were to say thanks, I'd faint.
Never so much as a bit of jam.
Want jam on it, do you? Well, come and buy it then, Friday. Whatever next. Did you hear that, Leslie? Makes no odds what you do for him. You never get a word of thanks.
Who was it?
Old Fred Millington.
Why don't he go to Baxter's?
Because he knows I'm soft. He's not so daft as he can't size you up.
You want to send him packing? He'll be living here in a bit.
Oh, I couldn't eat my own dinner if I'd thought I'd let an old man starve.
Why, he's no good to anyone.
I suppose you'll say that about me when I'm too old to work all hours God sends.
You've got to make room for the young ones. Stands to sense.
It's a hard-headed kind of sense, and hard-hearted. You'll change your tune when you get older.
I'm not worried about that now.
No, they never do. Then you turn around and you're past 40 and starting on second half. The worst half.
Hey, you're that cheerful. I'm going to enjoy myself while there's time.
That's all very well, but there's a limit to everything. Remember that. As you sow, so shall you reap.
All right, our Mum, you're turning milk sour.
That's your dad back. I can smell him from here, and that's not milk. Your dinner's in the oven if you've still got room for it.
Well, let's have it then.
Oh, don't strain yourself lifting a plate.
They're all talking about it.
What?
You eat your pudding.
Oh, lads are right to know. Kostka did it.
That's not been proved.
Oh, shouldn't like to be in his shoes. They reckon as lynching's too good for him.
Do they?
You drink your tea. Shut up, Harry. I don't like this sort of talk in front of a lad.
Oh, he's asking for it. Desiccating a sacred place like that.
There's nobody buried under it.
It's in their memory just the same. Well, let foreigners in and that's just what you can expect. Immorality, overcrowding and smallpox. You can't trust them no further than you can spit.
Oh, stop going on about it. Every blessed soul who's been in this shop this morning's talked about nothing else. It's given them something to think about any road. Blessed if I know what they did talk about before he came to Lower Culworth. Oh, shift your elbows. I can't get to clear up.
Well, you are naughty, aren't you?
If you were at that counter from 8 at morning while nearly 8 at night, same as I am, you'd be naughty. I'm getting right sick of all gossiping and calling. It's as much as I can do to reckon up straight. Ever since he moved into Spencer's cottage, they've been hoping to find something out about him. He's been a right disappointment to 'em. No blonde woman, a bearded men with snow on their boots, no parcels sticking away at post office. What a shame. You had all you want, Leslie, love?
I'm full. Ta-ra.
Biking all that way on a full stomach.
Oh, lads can do anything.
Aye, but it'll tell on him when he gets older.
Hello. Are you looking after the shop?
No, I'll tell me Mum. Sharp.
All right, then, now go.
Ah, good morning. Or is it afternoon already?
It's afternoon when I've had my dinner.
And have you?
I'm in the middle of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I only want a tin of coffee.
We haven't got any coffee.
Haven't you?
You heard, we haven't got any.
But there are some tins on that shelf.
All ordered.
Oh, it's you, Mr.
Now, leave this
Kostka.
to me, Edna.
Go and finish your dinner. I'll serve.
You won't.
Harry.
I said leave this to me, Edna. We haven't got anything to sell to you. Don't you understand as the English?
I thought I did. Now I'm not sure anymore.
Oh, Harry, I feel awful. What did you do that for?
Stop your mithering. He'll find same everywhere in village.
Oh, Harry.
He should have kept his hands off memorial.
We don't know that he did it. Nothing's been proved yet.
You make me sick. You're that soft.
Oh, I'll never forget the look on his face as long as I live.
Oh, you'll forget. You've forgotten your young brother, haven't you? That stone was put up to him and his mates.
I shall always remember our Michael. But that doesn't mean I'll join in with that beer-swilling lot down at White Lion. If he ever comes into this shop again, I shouldn't wonder if he never did. I shall serve him same as anyone else. Nothing's been proved yet.
Come in.
Hello.
Mr. Spencer doesn't hear.
I know.
This is Ivy Cottage.
I I know that, too. It's been Ivy Cottage since 1872. Well, now we've established 2 vital facts. Good afternoon. My name's Jean Booth.
Jiri Kostka. Excuse me, I can't shake hands.
I don't mind clay. I'm used to soil. Shall I sit here?
Please, let me move the newspaper.
You can leave it. I think it's probably cleaner than the stool. Oh, dear, I'm being very rude.
You can be rude to my stool. It has no feelings.
They're not serving you in the shops, are they?
How did you know?
Oh, I get all the latest intelligence from the dairy via my cowman. Actually, I was wondering whether you'd run short of anything. I pushed some groceries into this basket.
That's very kind of you.
There was no trouble. There's some butter and eggs and tea and things.
Tea?
And coffee. In the blue bag.
Ah, coffee. I'll make some now.
I noticed you'd been bedding out.
No, I sleep just over the porch.
I mean bedding out plants. In the front there.
Oh, yes. I think they're called onopordons.
We usually call them cotton thistles. It's easier.
I don't find a word like thistle easy.
You don't do too badly. We had a German POW working at the farm at one time. He used to say sizzle.
I'm not German. I'm Czech.
All right. You are touchy, aren't you? As prickly as a thistle yourself.
I'm sorry.
Cotton thistles flower in July. Do you expect to be here to see them?
I don't see why not.
You're an optimist.
I have to be. Otherwise, I wouldn't shave in the morning in case I drop dead in the afternoon.
That's a point. What's this in the photograph? Your family?
My wife and younger daughter.
I mustn't be inquisitive.
You've been very kind.
That doesn't give me the right to pry.
I had to come away, and they didn't want to.
As simple as that.
Well, not quite as simple as that.
No, don't say any more. It's no business of mine.
I see you've left your car outside.
I don't usually drive it in through the front door.
Oh, don't you think it's rather conspicuous there? Everybody will know that you're fraternizing with the enemy.
Who cares? They don't approve of me anyway. I do what I like and I say what I like. And I advise you to do the same.
It's different for you. You're a native here.
4th generation. Up at Beach Farm.
Oh, that's just past Stag's Bend, isn't it? With the blue hut?
Barn. Yes. It's mine since Daddy died.
It's mine. To be able to say that about a whole piece of your country. It's mine.
It is nice, I suppose. One tends to take it for granted.
Do you take milk?
Just enough to make it cloudy, please.
Here.
Thank you. Hot. I'll put it on the mantelpiece. One more ring to add to the others. But I suppose studios are always like this. Do you call it a studio?
Studio or workshop, call it what you like.
Call it what you like, it's a right mess. What are those big boxes for?
They're clay bins.
I see. I like the sacking covers. Fringed edges, very nifty.
Wet sacking keeps the clay damp.
Everything's strictly functional.
Yes, strictly functional.
If I'm being rude again, throw me out. But can I ask you one more question before I go?
What is it?
This flat square thing with a raised design on it, it reminds me of the way they used to press a decoration onto the rounds of butter.
Well, this is a decoration, too. It's a design for a panel to go over the doorway of the new agricultural college at Denbury.
Will you take a cast from it?
No, I have to copy the design and enlarge it, straight on the stone.
What does it represent?
Fertility, of course.
Of course.
Don't pretend. If I held it upside down, you wouldn't notice any difference.
Yes, I would. It looks better. I'm not very clever about this sort of thing.
At least you're honest.
This coffee's good. I should have washed the car. Someone's been writing in the dust.
What does it say?
Can't see from here. Something decidedly uncomplimentary, I've no doubt. They're a lot of sheep. One smears and they all smear. I can't think why anyone should want to mess up the war memorial. Some foul-minded, half-demented person must have done it.
I did it.
I don't believe that. You wouldn't have the vocabulary, for one thing. According to Charlie Weston, who told Stan Berry, who told everybody in the White Lion while my cowman was having a lunchtime pint, there was quite a treasure of 4-letter words on it. All the ones that everybody knows, and one or two that nobody had ever heard of. And all the local names bunged up with red paint. Why they should pin it on you, I can't imagine.
It's only one more story to add to the others. I have a bomb factory in the cellar and a radio transmitter in the chimney. All I'm really short of is a beautiful spy. Would you like to apply for the job?
I don't know that I'm qualified.
You are, I assure you.
Thank you. Is the pay good?
Very generous. But in rubles, naturally.
You'll have to make a better offer than that. I can't spend rubles here.
If you're seen with me again, you might not be able to spend English currency either.
Don't you believe it? I'd like to see anyone try to refuse to serve me. Nobody's ever tried it. They don't dare say anything to my face, only behind my back.
What things?
I'd better tell you before you hear of it from someone else. I'm as much of an outcast as you are. I'm supposed to be a loose woman. Laughable, really. Half the girls in this village walk up the aisle with their bridal bouquets carefully arranged to hide what's only too obvious. But I happen to be unlucky, that's all. The man I was going to marry died in a road accident. And I committed the unforgivable crime of keeping our son.
Is that a crime?
Oh, it's not respectable. And that's a crime up here.
When was this?
10 years ago. He doesn't live with me now. I've sent him away to school, and he goes to my cousin in the holidays. I know only too well what he'd be called if he came to live here.
Does he know where his real home should be?
No. Thinks I'm his aunt. A maiden aunt at that.
It must be difficult for you.
I shall tell him one day, when he's old enough to understand. And old enough not to blurt it out to his friends. Oh, if only people would keep their vicious mouths shut, I could have kept him with me. It's the image of David.
Don't you want to risk it?
No. I don't want him to be hurt while he's too young to understand what it's all about. Oh, don't look so miserable.
I was wondering how people can be so small and unkind.
Because they are small and unkind.
You may be right, but I hope you're wrong.
I don't know why you chose to settle in Lower Culworth. Couldn't you find a place in Dorriport?
Oh, I'd hate to live there.
You'd be much nearer the school.
Would you like to live in a big, noisy town with grimy buildings hiding the sky and the air full of the smell of hot oil and burnt petrol?
No, but then I've lived in the country all my life.
Ah, so have I. Where I was born, you couldn't see the next farm. We lived at the foot of a hill, and the trees grew crookedly with their roots gripping the side of it. The wind had smoothed the rocks into all sorts of shapes, some grotesque, some graceful. I used to draw there for hours. It annoyed my father terribly.
He was a practical man, I take it.
Entirely. He told me that I'd never be rich, and he was right. All the same, I can't afford to pay for my own food. How much do I owe you?
Where's my basket? Give me the tea back if you don't use it.
No, I'll keep it for you when you come again.
Oh, is that an invitation?
I'd like to do a head of you, if you can find time to sit for me.
Are you serious?
Of course I am. You've got a well-formed skull.
Well, thank you. Nobody's ever noticed my skeleton before.
They notice without realizing it. The bones are very important. Will you sit for me?
It won't be one of those funny things with a hole through the middle.
No, a straight portrait. Modeled in clay and cast in bronze.
Bronze? Then I shall be immortalized.
That's for posterity to judge. How much do I owe you?
Oh, leave it till next time. I must fly. Thanks for the coffee. And do be careful. The whole village is in a thoroughly unpleasant mood.
I have a clear conscience.
Oh, that won't help you when you've got a dirty name.
It won't be for long. Lejme kratki noi.
What does that mean?
It's a Czech proverb. It says that lies have short legs.
Lies have short legs. And they've not so far to go in Lower Culworth.
What time's that then?
9.
Where you been, George?
Tanner's Lane.
What for?
Oh, just to have a look.
Was he there?
I don't know. I didn't see him any road.
He's there, all right. He's hiding. Oh, here's Leslie.
Hello, Frank. Hello, George.
Where you been, Les?
What's it to you?
You been up the brew, I can tell by colour of your ears. Was she there?
Oh.
Never you mind.
We know, don't we, Les Wilshaw? I know what the foreigner painted on Monument. Got it all right and all. Must have seen Mary Glover bathing down the Lee.
You're a dirty devil, Frank Hodgkins.
Well, what's up with you, then? You still singing McQuire, or
He'll
what?
get 10 years hard labour, he will.
He'll get off scot-free, you watch. Police'll do nought.
He come in our shop this dinner.
He's got a nerve. What do you want?
Dunno. But my dad wouldn't serve him. He told me. My mum wanted to, but he wouldn't let her.
Women. They're dead soft.
Just you mind who you call soft.
Oh, give over!
Oh, all right, then. Here, let's ride round by Ivy Cottage, see what he's up to, signalling and such likely. Come on. You scared, Les?
I'm not scared.
Well, come on, then. Oh, what's up with you, fatty George? Scared of flaming Russian?
He's not Russian.
Well, his foreign makes no difference. Come on.
I'll come if George does.
Want him to hold your hand, do you?
I don't need nobody to hold me hand.
Except Mary Glover.
I'll punch your flaming head.
You'll have to catch me first.
There. I've finished for the time being. You can move now.
Thank goodness. I'm frozen. Absolutely congealed. Oh, it's a stone floor. rub my back, would you? I've got cramp. Oh! Ooh.
Is that better?
Much better, thanks. Now, let me see. Yes, it's beginning to look like me.
Yesterday you didn't even know what clay looked like unless it was shaped into a teacup and fired. Now you're an art critic.
You don't have to be so beastly just because I made a remark.
That wasn't a remark, it was an opinion.
Oh, you're an arrogant devil, aren't you? Where's my coat? I can't find anything in this pigsty.
Here you are. What's the matter? Are you angry with me? Look, when I begin a new piece of work, I'm always on edge because I don't know myself how it will turn out. I'm sorry.
Forget it.
Will you come again?
Oh, yes. I don't like things left unfinished.
Neither do I. When then?
What about Thursday?
I'm at the school on Thursday. Can you manage Friday?
Yes, all right. Friday. Same time. Look at those lads. What are they hanging about for?
They're just inquisitive. Come to see the monster in his den.
Lock your door tonight.
I always do.
I'm not so sure. You've got a crazy habit of shouting, "Come in," to anybody and everybody. You should be more careful.
Do you think I'm afraid of little boys? Or of anything? Not anymore. I've already been to hell and back.
To hell? What do you mean?
Camps.
You didn't tell me.
It doesn't make pleasant conversation.
I wish you'd fasten the shutters over your front window.
The hinges are rusty.
Oh, you're stubborn as a mule.
Stubborn. Arrogant. Have you any more compliments to pay me?
I expect I shall be able to think of a few by Friday. Good night.
Good night, Jean. Sleep well. Come in! Mr. Keenan. Oh, I should say, Councillor Keenan. This is a surprise. But how nice to see you. Please sit down. Neither of these chairs is very comfortable, but this one is a little better, I think.
Thank you. Are you busy, I see?
I'm always busy. I'm only really happy when I'm working.
You're a lucky man.
What are you doing in Lower Culworth?
I've come to see you.
It's very good of you to come all this way. If you let me know, I'd have called in at your office.
I prefer it this way.
Well, how are they getting on with the building?
Oh, yes, they're well within schedule. We're very satisfied, very satisfied.
Yes? Well, then I must make a start on the decoration. I've ordered the stone.
Have you? I hope it's not too late to cancel it.
To cancel it?
Yes. My committee feel that in view of a certain unpleasant incident that has occurred since we selected your design, it's... Well, I don't mind admitting it. It's a tricky situation. You see, we had a bit of opposition from the outset with your being a foreign, with your, not being English. However, we decided to overlook that.
I'm very grateful.
We all felt that your entry was outstanding, in every sense of the word. But now... Well, I'll come straight to the point. There's been this scandal over the war memorial, and we'll have to withdraw the commission, I'm sorry.
So am I.
We're fully prepared to compensate you for any time you may have spent on the project already, and we'll take the stone off your hands if it's too late for you to cancel the order. However, we can't do fairer than that.
Can't you? I thought that the man here was innocent until he was proved guilty.
There's a lot of evidence against
There's
him.
no proof. I don't think you have any reason to reject my design.
We're rejecting the designer, Mr. Kostka. It's a great pity, but there you are.
There you are, what? Even if I painted on the memorial, and I'm admitting nothing, even if I did it, what difference does it make?
Well, it makes...
My design was the best, you say so yourself. My work would still be above the door of the college long after I was as dead as the men whose names were smeared with paint.
Mr. Kostka, the defiling of that memorial has been an outrage against the public conscience. The ratepayers, whom we represent, will not agree to the commissioning of its perpetrator.
Oh, talk to me as to a man, not a public meeting. You don't agree with them, do you? Otherwise, you wouldn't need to hide behind such long words.
Did you do it?
An artist should only be judged by his work, and his work should only be judged on its merits.
You haven't answered my question.
Just consider for a moment. Mussorgsky was a drunken jailbird. Gauguin deserted his family. Toulouse-Lautrec spent most of his time in Brussels. Even Britain has produced her share of alcoholic poets and perverted writers, and what of it?
Now, this is all beside the point.
On the contrary, this is the whole point. Only their work matters, nothing else.
Well, these people you've mentioned, well, they're all dead.
What difference does it make?
It makes all the difference.
I see. In other words, our sins die with us. Well, that's something to look forward to. Supposing I complete the carving and commit suicide, will you accept it then?
Well, now you're being ridiculous.
No, I'm not. I'm being perfectly logical.
I can see your point of view, but I can't share it. We can't take such a lenient attitude. I'll not waste any more of your time. What on earth possessed you? Why'd you do such a thing? You as a foreigner, you ought to be especially careful. Did you do it? Aye. Well, say goodbye, then.
Goodbye.
I can't make you out. I can't make you out at all. Oh, I'm sorry, you.
Hello. Who was that stout little party with the purple face? Friend of yours?
Hardly. He is a town councillor. He came to tell me that they're going to find someone else to adorn their new college.
But I thought that had all been decided ages ago.
The committee changed its mind. That's all. Scandal doesn't take long to travel, does it?
You don't have to tell me that. Oh, I'm sorry. You needed that commission, didn't you?
It isn't just the money. I'm not desperate and something always turns up. But it was a chance to make a really large carving in stone. Anyway, there's no point in brooding about it.
No, there isn't. Put your overall on and get on with something else.
Are you ready?
Yes. Oh, no, just a minute. I brought Timmy with me to keep my feet warm, but he's gone to the back. Have you got rats out there? Timmy, come here. Come here. Oh, fancy putting this bang in the middle of the step. Could have broken my neck. It's all very well, la vie bohème and all that, but when it comes to leaving booby traps, paint tins, smack in the... It's that colour. Copper rose.
I must get rid of it before the sergeant calls again.
Yes.
He was longing to find me with that, what do they call it, a clue?
Evidence.
Look at me. Jean. Hadn't you better go?
I'm taking this with me. Give me a newspaper, it's still a bit tacky.
The mystery is solved. Who painted on the memorial? Woman makes vital discovery. You'll have your picture in the local gazette.
You don't think I'm taking this to the police, do you?
What else can I think?
I'm going to drive 20 miles out and chuck it into a ditch.
How kind of you. Give it back to me.
No. You can trust me.
Why should I when you don't trust me? I don't want your help.
I've got to help you. Nobody else will.
Give me that tin.
No. No, I won't.
Give it to me.
Oh, no. It's a shame you suffered enough.
This got nothing to do with it. Come here.
It's all mixed up in a head.
You're the one who's mixed up.
Let go of me.
Until you give me that tin.
I won't let him go. Go on, bite him, Timmy. Bite him. Oh, stupid dog. If you won't, I will.
You...
Don't say it. Wouldn't be nice. Come on, Tim.
Women. I'll take the fine oatmeal.
Aye, it cooks quicker.
Hello, hello.
Hello?
I never expected to see you in here again, that I didn't.
Life is full of surprises. How much is that?
I said as I didn't expect to see you in here again.
Oh, give over, Harry. That'll be 3 and 5 altogether.
Thank you.
Put them things down.
Give over, Harry.
Excuse me, please.
Put them down.
Excuse me, you're blocking the doorway.
I mean to.
Please let me pass.
Not till you put that stuff back on counter.
I've paid for it.
Give him his money back, Edna.
Oh, Harry.
I said do as I say, Edna.
Get out at road, Harry, before you get hurt. He'd make 2 of you.
Just let him lay a finger on me. That'll be assault and battery, that will. They can add that to the other charges when he goes up. Here, watch it.
Just move aside.
You play it.
Please. Thank you. Good morning.
Did you see that?
I did.
I'll report him.
I shouldn't. You'll only make yourself look a right fool. What'll you tell him? That he pushed you out at road like you was on wheels? It's going to make you look small, isn't it?
Hey, well, that's him. Just went out.
It was.
Fancy coming in here again after you told him straight. What do you want?
Just a few bits.
He gave me such a funny look when I went past.
He doesn't like being stared at.
I only glanced at him like, and he gave me such a look. Oh, it's put me all of a tremble. Nobody's safe with him about. Oh, what'd I come in for? It slipped me mind. I'll call back, Mrs. Wilshaw.
Can't wait till Lily Taylor he give her a funny look. She thrives on a bit of excitement, that woman.
Come in. Oh, hello.
Hello.
What do you want?
I've come to be immortalized in bronze. Or don't you like my skull anymore?
I don't like what goes on inside it.
Just because the merest shadow of doubt crossed my mind, you practically ordered me out of the house.
And where's the doubt now?
Gone. There's a nice little angel carved on the memorial, sort of etched.
Intaglio.
Whatever it is, I'm sure you wouldn't spoil another man's work. And for that matter, neither would you plant vital evidence on your own doorstep. Even madmen are cunning.
You're only surmising. You don't know what I'm capable of doing.
I think someone must be trying to frame you.
What does that mean, to frame?
Someone's trying to make you appear guilty by planting vital evidence on you.
Perhaps the person who borrowed my paint was simply returning the tin.
He'd be a bit naive, wouldn't he?
He is.
He is? Who?
Nobody, nothing.
You're hiding something.
No, I'm not.
You know something about him.
I don't know anything about anything. I only know that the next time I rent a house, it will be on top of a mountain, in the middle of the desert, or deep in the heart of a jungle, away from everybody.
Right. I can take a hint. Come on, Timmy.
No, don't go.
It's quite all right, quite all right. I understand if you want to be left in peace.
No, please stay. Come on, sit down. And keep still.
Can I talk?
Yes.
What have you done to Harry Wilshaw?
Nothing? Why?
He hates your guts.
I think I annoyed him when I went to his shop for some things I wanted.
You could have asked me.
No, I was suddenly tired of going around on my knees. I went in and Mrs. Wilshaw served me, that's all.
From the way he's been talking, it sounded as though you'd robbed the till.
Perhaps that's because he knows that I love his wife.
You'd better call her Edna, then.
Edna? How sweet. Oh, you think I'm joking. I love Mrs. Wilshaw. Every day of her life, she serves in the shop from morning till night, and with every sale she has to make conversation and listen to her customers' troubles. Would you like her life?
To drive me dotty.
Mr. So-and-so's backache, Mrs. Who's-It's cough. One had a row with her husband, the other was up all night with the baby. And she always listens. She's always pleasant and sympathetic, no matter how tired or busy she is herself. I've never seen her upset. She's like a rock. No, a tree. Living but firm. She is the heart of this village. Not the vicar, not the schoolteacher, not the doctor. Her shop is the confessional, the source of knowledge, the center of healing. Women like Mrs. Wilshaw are the salt of the earth.
If she could hear you, she'd die of embarrassment.
She can't hear me. So do you know what she said to her husband?
No.
She said, "Give over, Harry. Give over, Harry." I loved her from that moment. It's a funny name, Harry.
No, not as funny as Jiri.
Jiri is not funny?
I think it's hilarious.
Do you really?
Haven't you noticed that I can never bring myself to use it?
Well, what do you call me?
Him. Or you.
This is terribly serious. First I was stateless, and now I'm nameless.
Don't lose any sleep over it. Wonder if it's started to rain yet. It's been threatening all day. They're there again, those three boys. I don't like it.
Let them look if it makes them happy. It's a change from watching television.
Why don't you draw these curtains?
They don't meet anyway. I think I must have boiled them too long.
Perhaps you thought you were making soup. I'll let myself out.
Good night, Jean.
Good night, you.
There she goes, all dressed up in her Sunday clothes, and nobody knows whether she got any underclothes.
You got a mind like a sewer.
Archangel Les Wilshaw, where's your halo? Want to know something, Les? She were in Brooks's, chatting with new boy there.
Who was, Miss Booth?
Don't be daft, she's old enough to be his mother. No, it were our Leslie's heartthrob.
What you on about?
Mary, a bit contrary, very matey they were. He comes in from Denver, he's got wavy hair. Don't you wish you had wavy hair?
Oh, shut up.
I were listening. "See you again," he says. She were looking dead soft. "I'm only telling you for your own good. I mean, you're wasting your time."
Look, there he is. I can see him plain.
Why? He's been copying her head, see?
Hey, what's he putting a cloth over it for? Can't he stand sight of it?
Wants to keep it warm, I reckon.
Him. Goes round like he owns place. My dad says he wants to pack up and clear out if he knows what's good for him.
He's not wanted here.
Not after what he done. It were an insult to the British Army.
I'd like to chuck a stone through that window.
Go on then, Les. I dare you.
I will if I can find one big enough.
This big enough then.
Hey, I didn't mean a brick.
Why not?
Where'd you find that?
Front wall's falling to bits. Go on. Dare you.
Here, let me. You've not got strength.
Who hasn't?
You haven't. Give it here, little Les.
You find your own.
Go on then. I dare you.
Well, if he won't, I will!
Mind your stockings on them boxes.
I'm all right. Goodbye now, Mrs. Wilshaw.
Morning, Miss Booth.
Good morning.
What was she doing in back here?
She been in to tell me summat.
I'll tell you something and all. He's bought it, foreigner, he's had it.
He's not dead, is he?
He's not dead, but he's none too well neither. Copped a right bashing her not before time. No more need deserve, that's a fact.
Have you finished?
Not a bit before time.
Will you listen to
Serves
me?
him right. I've got
I shall
no
scream
sympathy,
just
none
now.
at all.
Hurry!
Well, what then?
That's what Miss Booth came to see me about. She saw him, Leslie. She saw him and two other lads hanging about in Tanner's Lane.
When?
Last night, close on 10.
That were dark.
She shone her car headlights full on his face. She said he were all eyes like a frightened rabbit. I knew he were bothered. He's had no breakfast and won't get up.
I always lies in when there's no school.
Not as late as this. Aye, that's stopped your mouth, hasn't it? Bragging, violent talk. Lynch him, string him up. Rotten, dangerous talk. Lad's knob at 15. He soaks up every word you say, every blessed word. He thinks you're it. Me dad says this and me dad says that.
Oh, go on, say it. Say it's all my fault. That's what you're driving at. I know it's all my fault.
Aye, it is your fault. And t'other men. All right, women might chatter, but words don't break bones. It's always men with a let's have a war and never mind mother's sons maimed and murdered. Put up a grey, useless lump of stone to remember 'em by, and if anyone lays a finger on it, murder 'em all. I'm sick to death of men.
All right, love. All right, Edna, love. Oh, this is a right mess, is this. Has she told police?
No, she's saying nothing yet. They've been to her, but she kept quiet. She'd have said as he wouldn't want her to say out on account of it's my Leslie. She said he can decide for himself what he wants to do, if he comes round. She said that lads are no more to blame than everyone else. The atmosphere's been enough to poison any lad's mind, and she's right there.
Have you spoken to the lad about it?
Don't be daft. He's not got up yet.
I'll call him. Leslie! Leslie! Come down here and look sharp about it. I'll tackle him. If he's been doing anything wrong, I'll knock him sideways.
There you go again, you see. Hey, it's not a bit of use. You can't win. They never change. I feel awful.
You want me, Dad?
Leslie!
So shut up. No getting but shouting. Where did you go last night, Leslie?
Out.
Just out. You and who else?
Frank.
Frank Hodgkins? I've told you to keep away from him. I don't like him and never have. He's sly. Was there only two of you?
Us and George.
George Bullard, that great mountain of brainless brawn?
George is all right.
So's a pig in its sty.
Let's hear about it, Leslie. We know, anyway.
We went round there like, me and t'others. Frank said he were a commie. A secret agent.
Oh, aye. We're jam-packed full of military secrets here. Go on.
George said as he'd insulted British Army.
Oh, don't make me laugh. And what did you say? Nothing, I suppose.
Nothing much.
Only repeated everything your dad's been saying. Go on.
She'd been there. That Miss Booth. He's copying a face in plasticine.
Fancy.
After she went home, he was standing by the window.
And curtains not drawn? Should have had more sense. Still and all, if they'd been drawn, there'd have been tongues wagging.
Some of the bricks were loose on wall.
Bricks? Couldn't you find stones big enough for you?
Oh, will he bust the window?
And his head.
We never. He ducked down.
Fell down, more like. Sidney Butts found him, lying more dead than alive with his head in a pool of blood. He'd noticed smashed window and gone in. They've taken him to the infirmary. Aye, you might well look.
Oh, our mum.
There, now you see what you've done.
Who did throw in, all of you?
Me and George, Frank didn't.
Oh, no, he wouldn't.
You and George will find yourselves up for murder.
Oh, Shari, we don't know yet. He may pull round, poor soul.
It'd be manslaughter any
Oh,
road.
what the blazes did you go and do a daft thing like that for?
Well, you said...
Never mind what I said. You don't have to go by everything I say.
And what should I go by?
Reckon I need a drink.
Aye, go and hide your red face in froth. That's your answer to everything.
Hey, they've got him.
Got who?
Police have found out who did it.
What?
They've found out. It were old Fred Millington.
Old Fred threw them bricks?
Nay, never that. They reckon that was some of them lads from Denbury way. No, it were old Fred as desiccated memorial.
Oh, fancy.
They caught him at it. 1 o'clock in morning. He'd pinched a bit of blue paint this time. Wanted a change, I reckon. 1 o'clock this morning he were out, painting his pin-ups on church wall. Wouldn't be so bad if he'd do it in public convenience, same as everybody else.
Well, I never.
He's off his rocker, poor old soul. Kept talking about trenches and his old mates. Stuck in his mind all these years, they never forget.
What will they do with him?
They've taken him to Council's place at Benton. Unfit to plead he is. He didn't want to go, fought every inch of the way, Charlie Weston told our Stanley. It's a shame, it is that.
Serves him right.
You what? You don't mean that, love?
Serves him right, meddling old fool. If he'd kept his dirty words to himself, all this would never have happened. It's brought naught but trouble. I've not got that much sympathy with him. And I'm glad they've taken him to Benton. Best place for him. Good riddance, I say.
Hey, Mrs. Wilshaw, you are hard. A poor old man like that.
A nasty, dirty old man, and a bad influence on young uns. I'm glad they put him away. It's not a day too soon. And if you ask me, is that all now, Mrs. Berry?
Aye, that'll be all just now, thank you, Mrs. Wilshaw.
Yeah. What's the matter with you, Mrs. Hoity-toity?
You been listening?
Aye, you've been losing us customers.
Oh, look who's talking.
Oh, but that was different. We all thought...
Aye, we all thought wrong, didn't we? And what happens now?
What do you mean, what happens now?
If he dies, police will not leave it at that. They'll question every living soul in the village. You know our Leslie. He can't tell a lie to save his life. Got a wide open face, and you can see right through his eyes like glass. Oh, I can't stand this waiting. You go down to Thinfirmly and find out how he is.
Me? I'm not going down there. I shall look a right fool.
That'll be nothing new. Go and find out how he is. Tell him you're a friend of his. Take something with you. That's it. Take one of my sponges, he likes them. Light as a cloud, he used to say.
We can't eat it if he's in a coma.
Take it just same. And come straight back and tell me how he is. No stopping off at that gentleman's relish. And put on your blue suit. It's more respectful.
Right. We can go now. I'll carry that case.
I can carry it, nurse.
You'll do as you're told until you're the other side of the door. Bring that basket of fruit. Somebody's been to a lot of trouble and they'll be hurt if you leave it. I'll take the rest to the kitchens afterwards. Ah, there's your friend. Is she a vet or something?
Why?
Well, she's got a pig in the car. Hello.
Hello, Jean.
What on earth's this? Small harvest festival?
It's to keep his strength up. And will you be all right now?
Yes. Thank you, nurse. Goodbye.
Cheerio. And thanks for the chocolate.
You're welcome. Would you like some chocolates?
Don't you like them?
Not 9 pounds of them.
Oh, good heavens. People must think they starve you in there.
That's exactly what the nurse said. She said that it showed that I must have a lot of friends.
Friends? What did you say to that?
I just smiled. I've been smiling for over a week. My face aches.
Well, is that the lot now?
Yes. Oh, won't you introduce me?
I'm sorry about him. I was going to bring the car, but I had to collect the pig from Lee, so I took the break instead. I hope you don't mind.
Of course not. It was very good of you to call for me in any case.
As long as you don't regard it as a calculated insult, being brought home with the bacon.
Not from you, Jean. It's good to be out. I want to get on with my work.
You should go a bit easy at first, you know. It's still look a bit white and dithery.
Now, don't you start ordering me about. I had enough of that in hospital. Hey.
Is that awful pig bothering you?
I think he's trying to eat my ear.
Well, just you knock him on the snout if he gets too familiar.
I couldn't be so unkind.
I say, you won't know your cottage when you see it.
Why?
Haven't you heard? After insulting you, ignoring you, and bashing you over the head with half a wall, everybody's been embarrassingly eager to help. Our brother from another land. That's you. That's how the vicar described you.
The vicar?
He preached a sermon about you. One of the girls from the bakery told me. Oh, I wasn't there, of course. I don't offend the congregation with my scarlet presence.
Jean, don't always be so bitter.
Oh, let me be. You won't change me.
I might.
Anyway, he lectured them on mutual tolerance, etc. So the broken window's been replaced, and the wall repaired, and the garden's been put in order. They might have decorated throughout. But no, they've only painted the front.
What color? Copper, rose, red?
No, a neutral beige. Oh, by the way, I sprinkled your clay with water. Is that right?
Yes, thank you. I was wondering about it. The police sergeant came to see me.
Sergeant Bates?
Yes. I don't know how much he knows.
About the boys? I didn't tell him anything.
Oh, that's good. I've persuaded him to let the whole matter drop. It was a pure accident anyway. I'm sure they didn't intend to do more than break a few windows.
They got more than they bargained for. Mrs. Wilshaw's been so worried she's lost weight visibly. And I shouldn't think Leslie will ever throw anything at anybody again. You and your lesma, what's it? That was one lie that walked too far. And now you've lost your commission as well.
No, I haven't. Keenan wrote to me and everything is as it was. That's why I'm so impatient to start work. The stone's coming for the decoration. I have your head to finish. And I'm going to recut the angel and the lettering on the monument after it's been sanded down.
What? Well, you surely don't mean our monument.
But of course.
Seems queer somehow. Still, if they pay you for it...
I won't accept anything. It will be a labor of love.
I don't understand you. After everything that's happened...
What has happened? Some unpleasant gossip, some silly boys getting excited. What does it all add up to? That people are people, not saints. But you see how kind they really can be. I've no reason to feel resentment against the whole village for years to come.
That's a matter of opinion.
It's not good to harbor a grudge forever, like you do.
Oh, shut up.
No, I won't shut up. This bitterness of yours, Jean, it's like a maggot in an apple, eating away until it's all rotten inside and there's no heart left anymore. What are you trying to do? I nearly hit that wall.
You can walk the rest.
Just as you like. Don't cry.
Oh, I'm not. Go away.
Come here. Such a lot of salt water. And I can't swim. We'll drown together. Oh. So you've woken up, have you? Go away. He wants to kiss you, too. Even a pig knows what's nice. That's better. Oh, we're blocking the road.
You hadn't the faintest intention of walking, had you?
Not if I could have avoided it.
Did they tell you that it was old Fred, after all?
Yes, the sergeant told me. But there's something that he doesn't know.
And what's that?
I knew from the beginning who took my paint and used it on the memorial. The old man was there when I crossed the square that night. He was working away quite absorbed and happy, like a child painting.
Why didn't you stop him?
I tried to reason with him, but it was useless. It was too late anyway. The stone was already ruined.
Why on earth didn't you tell the police?
Why should I? I didn't want to inform against an old man like that. Besides, he had more to lose than I. He's senile and alone, but the village is his home, and he wants to end his days there. Old people hate to be uprooted. For me, what difference would it make if I had to move again? I'm an exile already.
They've put him in a home.
He'll die soon. He's too old to be transplanted.
But you aren't, are you? Not too old to put down roots in fresh ground.
I don't know. Perhaps not.
I hope not.
That was The Outrage by Joyce Merrick. Jiri Kostka was played by Frank Duncan, Jean Booth by Monica Gray, and Edna Wilshaw by Beatrice Varley. Production for the BBC was by Audrey Cameron.